Hello everyone! Today's question is a fun one. I got this letter from Abby. It says, "Dear Jessie, I was wondering if you were married and would you wear your wedding ring on your foot?" Thank you, Abby, for the question. This is a great one. Many of us women without arms, I'm sure we've had to work through through the same exact question. Many of us do things differently. And of course, we're all very different, so we have different opinions about things. And so I'm going to tell you about how it is that it came to be that I now wear a wedding anklet. Well, let's start at the beginning, because as a child, I wasn't the type of girl who dwelled on marriage. I'll just admit that. The thought crossed my mind, how would I wear a wedding ring? And I thought, well, maybe I just wear a necklace with a wedding ring on the necklace. But I wasn't that girl who reenacted weddings or pretended to get married to people. I just wasn't that type of girl. I didn't think too much about it. And I was fortunately not the type of girl who worried, would someone love me because I don't have arms? I never thought or was concerned about that. I know sometimes that's a concern for many people when you have something that's different about you, is would you be able to find someone to love you and to marry you? Well, I fortunately didn't have to dwell too much on that. I did want to find someone who loved me for me and who could see past my difference and didn't see me as essentially being superhuman or didn't see me as a pity case. That was very important for me, to find someone who could see past all those things and love me for me. Now, while I didn't have the most exciting dating life, let's admit it, I have to admit that. For me, my teen years and my young adult years, I spent really working on my own insecurities, working on my confidence, like I shared on Monday's Facebook Live video. Confidence was a huge thing for me, is building my confidence, getting through those insecurities that we all have. And it was all about timing, because I was at a good point in my life, doing what I was loving. I was confident in myself. And that was about the time when my now husband, Patrick, came into my life. And that was a time when we met through our shared passion of Taekwondo. We both practiced Taekwondo. He's now a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I'm now a 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo. And we had this common bond. We found each other through our Taekwondo school. And it was an interesting story, because he was my instructor at one point in time. And that's when we first met. He was the instructor. I came in as a new student who had trained in Taekwondo but was going to refresh my skills and get back into training again. And that was at a time when we met. And of course, it's not appropriate to date your student. So we really didn't date at all during that time when we knew each other. It wasn't until he had a new job opportunity in another city, and when he moved from that Taekwondo school to another Taekwondo school, that's when it was appropriate that we could start dating. But of course, working through all those challenges of dating someone, and there's some comments coming in. Thank you very much for coming in with your comments and joining me. Hi, Donna, a good pilot friend of mine. She's an amazing pilot. Jeff's on, and Clarissa Watson's watching. So hello to everyone. And I'm talking a little bit about dating and talking a little bit about those insecurities that we all have. And they tend to be magnified when you're different, I think. I think you tend to get really concerned about what other people think about you and what a potential spouse or someone you're dating would think about you. But I think one of the things that I want to share to all of you out there is just, number one, work on your own confidence. Work on the insecurities that we all have. And number two, do something you love. You don't actually have to be actively searching for that, one and only. You don't have to be desperately out there looking for someone, because I wasn't actively looking for my now husband. It was actually just something that happened because we found ourselves in a place where we were both doing something we love, which is Taekwondo, and it turned into a relationship. Now, after we were dating, it was, I guess, then Patrick's job to figure out this whole wedding ring, engagement ring idea and what he was going to do about it. So I wasn't a part of that process. He gets all the credit for his creativity. And some people are watching from the Philippines. Hello. So he came up with this wonderful idea. After we were dating for a while, he decided to cook me dinner, and it was a wonderful dinner, and popped the question. And just like that, I was pretty much, I was just absolutely shocked. I didn't know what to say. There he was, and he pulled this anklet out of the container and proposed to me. And I was absolutely floored because, for one, I had to get my head wrapped around the idea that Patrick came up with this unique, creative idea of an anklet that I never even thought about. And I was just so amazed by his thoughtfulness, because he really has said on a number of occasions, he said that he wanted something that symbolized wholeness and completeness. And he knew that that was important for me, is to really convey that. And he wanted that to be the case. And that's when he came up with, in fact, I have it right here, the engagement anklet. This was a silver one. And this one has a little heart on it. It's a beautiful anklet. I'm going to take it out just for all of you to see, because it is so cute. I keep it in a very safe place. So I'm going to take it out of here so you can all see this beautiful heart that was on the engagement anklet. Yes, that Patrick did well. And so that was right. I'm sorry, you can't even see the little diamonds on it. Okay, let me flip that over there. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? So I wore that anklet on my ankle for many, many months. I think it was about, yeah, it was a good year wearing that anklet. And then came time for preparing for the wedding. Now the wedding, Donna says, "Yay, Patrick." Yeah, and someone says, "I'm crying tears of joy, sweet proposal." Wasn't that sweet? Yeah. So I'm just starting to get a little teary-eyed too thinking about it. So when it came time for wedding preparation, and now was time for something for Patrick and I together to choose what the next thing would be. Would it be a necklace with a wedding ring on it? Or would we continue this tradition that he started of an anklet? And we decided it would be the anklet. And Patrick and I went into Jared's, and within 15 minutes we came out and had this anklet that is now on my left ankle picked out, because it sure was easy. There were only 5 anklets in the store. And yeah, so we didn't have the paradox of choice. We fortunately had to just choose from 3 anklets. If you're wondering why didn't I look at some of the bracelets, well, bracelets are actually are not long enough for me to fit around my ankle. So the anklets, we had to choose from the 5 anklets that were there at Jared's, and it came out to be a very beautiful anklet, I will say. So you can all see that it has gold and silver on it, and I wear that every single day. I don't ever take that anklet off. Fortunately, it's pretty sturdy, because unfortunately the engagement anklet came off a couple times. So he did good. I see Maribeth said good job, so I'll be sure and let Patrick know good job. So that was, and the rest is history. It was really a sweet thing, and I think I may be the only woman in the world without arms who wears an anklet to symbolize our marriage, because to this day and we've been married now 8 years in May. I actually have not met a woman who wears an anklet as a symbolic of their marriage. So I think that Patrick did really well. I've met a number of women who do wear a wedding ring on a necklace around their neck. So they figure that one out. I know Jeff saying, "Let's meet Patrick." Well, Patrick is preparing for work right now. He has some work to do this evening, so I'm going to have him on maybe tomorrow or some point in time. I'll let you know when he comes on so you can all meet him. But yes, bravo, Patrick. You did a good job, in case you're watching. And I wanted to let you all know that, just again, there's someone out there. Just don't ever compromise for someone who doesn't treat you in a respectful way, no matter who you are. No matter how many arms you have or not have arms or missing arms, limbs, or whatever, just make sure that you find someone who loves you and who respects you, and never to compromise that, because everyone deserves a wonderful relationship, which I feel very fortunate that I've had with Patrick now over almost 8 years. It's been beautiful. We've learned a lot. Some of the things we've had to go through are challenges that I think anyone maybe, who has had to deal with, anyone who has had a disability or anyone who has dealt with some challenge in life has had to deal with. But don't we all have challenges? We just have to work through them, and communication is always so important for us, is communicating. And that's something I've had to learn how to do, because there have been times when I've been withdrawn. So I have to learn how to communicate. I've had to learn how to be able to share my feelings, to make sure that we're mutually doing the same. And I don't know if I'm the best person to give relationship advice. I've only been married almost 8 years. But anyway, I thought I'd share with you all that Anae is actually on right now, I see. And Patrick is watching too, so my husband is watching. But Anae is on, and she's happily married with 2 kids. She was born without arms, and I'm sure she could give me some good advice as well. We do not have children, just so that you know. And Patty Raleigh's watching too, so great. We do not have children at the time. That's probably the next question. And one of these days, I think when the time is right, again, it's all about timing, when it's right. Maybe if God blesses us with a child, then we hope to have a child, and that is another book, I think, to be written, is Parenting Without Arms. Changing diapers is not as difficult, but I'm sure carrying the child and figuring out all those challenges are going to be something that we'll get through. And Anae just said, Patrick's saying, thanks everyone. He's saying it's a process of stressing over making a right decision for anklets, necklaces, etc. Yes. I love the anklet. So Anae is saying she wears her ring on her toe. So there you go. There's someone born without arms who wears their wedding ring on their toe. So great. And Donna says, no children yet. That's correct. So Anae's been married now for almost 18 years. And that's wonderful. Congratulations. That's a big one to celebrate. But I wanted to share with you all before we leave this live feed. I want to talk with you a little bit about what's here in front of me. As you can see, there's quite a collection of games out on the game table here. We call this the game table because we have all the games stored on this table. And with all of the boredom and the importance of staying at home, I'm finding that these games are great to have around. And if you're wondering, yes, I'm quarantining myself. Patrick and I have been doing that. And we decided to play some games last night. And I'm sure some of you are wondering, how do you play games with your feet? Well, Patrick is saying something about Uno over there, okay? Do you think Uno is watching? So I'll bring out some of these Uno cards here. Okay, so when you play cards with your toes, there is a challenge, and that is, why am I flipping the cards that way? I'm supposed to be looking at those. Okay, so here we go. Here's a whole bunch of cards. That's okay. I had an idea about how to hold these cards so that it's a little bit easier. And actually, my mother-in-law found this circular thing here. And this holds the cards in place so that I'm not having to struggle with resetting these cards up every time I set them down. So with this little circular thing, I'm able to hold that in one foot and put these cards in here, clamp down on the card, and fan them out just like you would when you're playing any kind of card game. And this is pretty neat. I love this little card holder because then I can just keep them concealed from everyone and easily with one foot keep the cards just like that. I don't know the name of this device. Maybe you do. Please comment if you do know, because it has made playing cards a lot easier for me with my toes. And there's a couple more comments here. Card holders are great. Yes, they are. And another thing, here's my collection of dice, collection of die, I should say. And rolling die with your rolling dice with your toes is challenging. So this is what I do. Let's open this up here first. So there goes a couple. We'll start with the green one because it's very bright. And this is, I think this is a 20-sided, no, this is a, let's see here. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to roll this dice with your toes. Now, there are various ways to do this modified. You could probably put this into a cup and just move the cup around and then throw the dice out, and then that's a good way to do it if you have a different kind of disability. For me, I usually either roll it between my toes like this and roll it out on the table like that, or I can also just using one foot, throw it out on the table like that. That's another way to do it. Last night we had a little box that I kind of just threw the dice into when we were playing some games last night. So for me, that's just how I roll dice if I'm playing a game. If you have ideas, let me know. I know. Oh, here we go. Question. How many can you pick up with one foot? Thank you, Anae, for that. Let's see how many of these dice I can pick up. Okay, there's a couple different sizes in here, and those two are stuck. So far I have 4. How many can you pick up, Anae, with your toes? Okay, those are stuck. So let me try and grab this one. This is a good challenge. How many of these can I hold on the top of my foot? Well, okay, it looks like with these, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 is the max I can hold. Okay. Patrick is saying, the video is brought to you by Throw Burrito, Dungeons and Dragons, and Bananagrams. Oh, I love Bananagrams. Tell me what your favorite game is to play. I don't know why I love Bananagrams, but I love Scrabble, and I love Bananagrams, and I love Rummikub. So tell me what your favorite game is, because I would love to try it while we're here at home, quarantining ourselves. The great thing about Bananagrams, just a lot of different pieces here, but pieces are not a problem for me to pick up with my toes. They're actually pretty easy to pick up. So Anae is saying that she can hold 5 dice with her toes. She says she plays a game where you pick up 6, and I might need to do 2 rolls. So there you go. I got a challenge. Rolling 2 dice at once. 2 dice. Basically, let me see if I could try that. Rolling 2 dice. Well, I can roll 2, yeah. But she's saying she's holding a couple and rolling them. So I'm going to try that out tonight. Thank you, Anae, for that. Any other questions? Oh, Yahtzee. Yes, for example, when it comes to playing Yahtzee, well, the cup makes it a lot easier playing that game. Let's see here. Any other games? Here's another mom of a young girl born without arms. Keisha, hello. I'd love to talk to you sometime. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can message me or message me. We can talk offline. Scrabble. Anae loves Scrabble. Okay, well, let me know what your favorite game is. I want you to try something tonight. Would you like to try to play your favorite game with your feet? Now, whoever you're playing against is going to have to help you out by not looking at all the cards, because I'm sure it'll be hard when you're doing that for the first time. But I'm going to challenge you to try to play a card game, any kind of game tonight with just your toes, and let me know how that goes. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful time keeping yourself busy, doing wonderful things. Be sure to find some time to have some fun, play some games, and keep smiling. So thank you. Bye, everyone.